Exotic forests are an important use of rural land in New Zealand. They contribute to the country's economy and help sequester the greenhouse gas, carbon. Although exotic forests are often on land once covered with native forest, if they retain pockets of native vegetation, kiwi will still happily live there. Protecting kiwi and maintaining enough habitat for their survival is an important part of managing a sustainable, certified forest. All forest owners and managers can help kiwi if they remember the following points when planning, establishing and managing forest woodlots. What sort of considerations do you have to put in place when you're planning your forestry?
Well, I guess that comes down to thinking about things like roading, where your roading is going to go, how you can avoid the removal of all the vegetation from valleys and pockets of indigenous vegetation, and thinking about how harvesting will happen at the end of the project too, so that we're not doing all the clear felling in one hit, that we can have a continuous harvesting operation. There's a lot of interest internationally now about continuous forest cover, so to avoid that situation where everything's being removed at once, and that will allow kiwi to remain in the forest. There will always be places that they can retreat to when harvesting's underway. I think too that if the use of fire can be minimised as well, because obviously that's a major hazard for kiwi in forestry areas, and that forestry operations give consideration to kiwi in terms of their nesting habits, so that we avoid major disruptive activities around the time that they're going to be mating and nesting. Well, a lot of people don't realise that exotic forests can still provide good habitat for kiwi, and it just needs to be managed really well for that to be sustainable, for them to remain there. We need to look after riparian areas, wetlands, small pockets of native vegetation for them to remain in, and the forest practices need to consider kiwi too, so that we're not into clear felling and that at all times we're leaving some habitat for them to remain in.
Any pockets of native plants that still exist within a plantation forest are important to kiwi. Insects, a favourite kiwi food, are more plentiful in these stands, swamps or wetlands, especially in summer when the soil in the woodlot hardens and dries out. Kiwi will also retreat into the native remnants when the plantation trees are harvested. So you can help kiwi by making sure any roading and machinery work avoids areas with native trees, and avoid dragging logs through them when cable hauling. When harvesting, work the forest in compartments so that resident kiwi have somewhere to go, away from the action. Burning should always be avoided. Kiwi will shelter under pampas, bracken, gorse and piles of forest slash, and if you burn these piles, the kiwi will burn with them. When thinking about when to harvest your forest, try and avoid the kiwi breeding season in late winter and spring, as birds often sit tight on their nests and there is a big risk of crushing adult kiwi and their eggs, or forcing them to abandon their nest. After about 5 years, your next rotation of trees will begin to provide habitat for kiwi again, as the ground cover layer returns and insect numbers increase to provide enough food. Other things you can do to help protect kiwi in your forest are to not let people drive on your forestry roads at night when kiwi are out and about, to carry out predator control to get rid of stoats, a serious threat to kiwi, to prohibit hunting with dogs, or at least control it by making sure any dogs have gone through the kiwi aversion training, and to ensure workers and contractors don't take dogs to work, as they could catch any kiwi trying to escape from machinery.
Having wildlife values, including kiwi, doesn't preclude carrying out exotic forestry. It's just that we need to consider their needs and how we can manage the forest to make sure that they can remain there.
To find out more about kiwi protection and how to manage a certified forest, contact organisations such as the New Zealand Forest Owners Association, who have a threatened species section on their website, or ecological consultants such as Wildlands, or the Department of Conservation.